We're going to talk about the newer MEC Marksman press. I've had this now going on probably 6 months. Whole reason I bought the MEC Marksman was I was running a kind of a classic Lee setup, just aluminum frame. Nothing special. I picked it up used, and just after using it for a while, I was kind of noticing a lot of run out with some of my cartridges. You know, for most things, it wasn't enough to really matter for just kind of plinking around. But as I found, I was getting more and more into just the precision side of it, seeing how accurate I can get my cartridges. I know it's kind of the whole point of reloading, but being I'm getting more into the precision side of it with my bolt guns, I just felt the run out I was getting with my Lee was kind of hindering the performance. I kind of did everything I thought I could do to accurize it, but just wasn't getting the results I wanted. So finally pulled the trigger on this MEC Marksman, and I did that based off of Panhandle Precision's review of his, and I was really impressed with just the overall quality. He did do some run out tests on his cartridges after he or the cases after he ran them through the press. Got real good results, and I've found that to be true with mine. Just resizing, I'm full length resizing my brass, but as far as run out after I resize some brass, it's great. I'm getting anywhere from a few tenths, usually average, probably a thousandths or a little less. So you know, I know dies do make a big part of it, just using quality components, whether it be your seating dies or your actual resizing dies. That does make a huge difference, I think, in just overall quality. So your mileage may vary a little bit, but as far as the press itself, just a real solid setup. I think the actual cast iron here is in most places easily 3/4 inches thick, super rigid. There's zero flex in this thing. The ram system itself, nice heavy duty ram, extra smooth, way better than what I was getting with my Lee. This thing's just, it's effortless. It doesn't clunk around. The free float system here, real nice retaining system, easy to get the shell holders in and out. Sorry if my fat fingers are in the way, but no effort there. Primers do fall down the center of the ram to a holding tray. Let me take this off of here. The holding tray underneath. Now, I did put the optional stand on mine, or I actually made my own stand, but I think you can pick a stand up for 40, 45 bucks, something like that at most places. The tray is probably the only beef I have with this press. It's not so much that it's a plastic tray. I could care less about that. It's just holding spent primers. However, occasionally I do get an occasional primer that pops out onto my workbench. I've tried setting this thing in long ways like it did there. I've tried putting it in sideways, and it just has a couple of kind of clips that overlap the tray there. And as you operate the ram, the primers spit out in a tray. So I don't know if they're just kind of maybe catching up a little bit in the system and then kind of vomiting them out the last second, and a couple of them miss the tray. But probably 99% of the time they all go in there, but occasionally I get some that just kind of fall out on the table. So not a deal breaker, but kind of pisses you off from every now and again, I guess, when you step on them on the floor. As far as the actual stand itself, I just made mine out of plate and some rectangular tubing and angle iron I had laying around the shop. Made it so it will accommodate 2 tubs, just the little ears on the back of the tubs. They kind of overlap right on that little milled out section there. I can put different size trays on there as well. I found these probably to be the most beneficial though. I did make my table here. It's about 3/8 thick on the top. I know it might be a little overkill, but I get zero flex out of this setup here. I left a little extra space in case I wanted to put some shell holders on here or die holders. I haven't done so yet because I kind of didn't want to put the extra effort into it, and I wasn't sure if I really wanted it or not. So I've just been kind of using it, seeing if it was really going to be that much more of a convenience factor. But up top there, they also got this little, I think it's just part of the casting, but that's not a bad place, you know, if you want to put a couple shell holders up there or whatever you want to put up there. I mean, it works for that. But so overall, yeah, the press, there's like zero flex, super tight tolerances on the ram, extra smooth. I did find I had to clean out my threads when I initially bought it. I don't know if it's just a packing grease or what they put in there, but it was kind of made the dies going in a little stiff. You could still run them in, but it just wasn't as smooth. So I took some kerosene and a Q-tip, a little soft bristle brush, just kind of clean those out real good. It's been fine ever since. But there are some accessories you can buy, the short handle or the short throw. Haven't found a need for that yet. I don't feel like I'm overworking my shoulder or my arm if I'm reloading a lot of brass, but might be something down the road. Same thing, I know they got little sheet metal trays that clip onto the top for shell holders and die holders. You can get those relatively cheap too. I think like $5 or $6 a piece. Not so much for the handle, but for the trays, they're pretty cheap. So yeah, what I bought off of eBay, this is what I got. It's just the press alone. With the spent primer tray. Everything else you got to buy extra. But the press on eBay, free shipping, I think it was like $189. So your mileage may vary on that as well as far as what you can get yours for, but that's what I got mine for. So long story short, great press, super accurate. If you're looking for a press and you've been checking out the MEC, well worth it, worth every penny in my opinion. And I don't regret the decision to buy this at all. So great product, MEC. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later, guys.